box, there should be just 4 things in it. There should be about a half bag of powder. This is citric acid. There should be about 4 milliliters of oil. That's your fragrance. There's a little packet of mica, and that's going to be your color. And then this is going to be the bath bomb mix. So you can see it's quite a bit bigger, and it's got baking soda, SCI powder, some kaolin clay, and cream of tartar in this. So all the mixing and pre-weighing is done for you. I'm just going to set the box over here. Then we're going to get our big bowl. You want to make sure that it's big enough that you or your kids can put your hands into, so that you can mix all the things together. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is take the big bag of the mix, and you're going to go ahead and dump it into the bowl. Now, this is a very fine powder. You can see it's starting to kind of puff up there. You don't want to breathe this in, so you want to lean your head away from this. Parents, this is something that you'll need to do, or just supervise older children to make sure that they don't get hurt with the powder. So normally when I make stuff, guys, I do wear gloves, but because I'm making this for personal use, it's not a big deal. So you won't need gloves unless you want to. That's fine. It's totally up to you. It will coat your fingers. It's just powder. It's fine. So you're going to go ahead and set this off to the side, and then you're going to get your coconut oil and your water out. So go ahead and get out your scale, and you're just going to get these little guys here. Mine's already separated out. But you're going to want 5 grams of water, preferably distilled water. If you don't have distilled, just like a bottled water or some kind of purified water. And then you want 7.5 grams of the oil of your choice. So you can use coconut oil is my preferred. If you've got an allergy or you just don't like coconut oil, avocado, sunflower, olive as a last resort, just because it is a heavier oil. But most people have just a liquid coconut oil, cooking oil. Once again, 5 grams of water and 7.5 grams of oil here. So now you're going to take your scale out and set it off to the side. So now we're going to just mix those into the powder that we dumped in here earlier. I'm going to actually get one of my little rubber spatulas here and clean this out. Okay, so now that I've scraped my oils into here, what I'm going to do is just take a whisk, make sure that this is well blended. And honestly, if you don't want to use a whisk, you can also just take a kitchen mixer and just slowly and gently, this is just on the first little speed here, go ahead and mix the water and the oil into these powders. Okay, so I've just gotten done beating this mixture together with my just handheld mixer for about a minute. So you really want to make sure that it's nice and well incorporated into this before you do the next part. It is going to be a bit like just damp. So it'll kind of hold a little bit of a shape, which is good. So now I'm going to add in this citric acid here. I'm just going to add all of it in there. And you can do this in a KitchenAid mixer too. Actually, that's typically how I make my bath bombs, is in the KitchenAid mixer. I don't use the handheld, but I'm also usually making quite a bit bigger batches than what a hand mixer can handle. So again, I'm just going to mix this in on the slowest setting, which really isn't that low. But you want to make sure that this is incorporated really good. So about another minute. Is my mixture. So you can see why you want like a nice big bowl to do this in. There's, especially if you've got little ones that are going to need help, you can hold on to the bowl pretty steady as they get to use the beaters if they're old enough to do so. You can mix this by hand. It will take longer though. So the fastest way to do this is with just a little hand mixer here, or like I said, a KitchenAid mixer if you've got more than one kit, or you just prefer the mixer. So here is where you're going to fragrance and color the mix, the base here. Say you bought like 2 or 3 kits, you can do all this at once. And then what you could do is separate out this mixture here and do 3 or 4 different colors. This is a cosmetic grade mica. I use it in soap. I use it in whipped soaps, bath bombs. This is typically how I color things. I just wanted to warn you, if you're like me and you like to try and get as much of it out as you can, do not blow in the bag. You do not want this powder in your eyes or up your nose. Trust me, it's not a fun experience. So just make sure you can get as much of it out as you can. Pour your fragrance in here. If you're buying a kit without fragrances from me, you'll need about 10 grams or 10 milliliters. It's always best to do by weight because some oils are heavier than others, but just as a frame of reference. So then you're going to want to just take your whisk again and you're going to mix this up. You can also take your kitchen mixer if you want, and you can mix it up that way. It's definitely going to be faster. So I think I'm going to do that. Okay, and here's my mix. As you can see, I jumped off and used the hand mixer here. It just makes it a little faster. Now we're going to take them over here to the cupcakes pan that we have. And you can use the liners that I provided, or you can just smash them into the tin themselves. Either way is fine. So then what you're going to want to do is you're going to take a spoon and you're just going to want to start kind of just placing this in here. Now, if you've separated out the batch and made multiple colors, that's fine. You can just smash them in there however you want. But the key is to get them compressed. So again, you're really going to want to make sure that you press these. If you happen to have a bath bomb mold from, say, like a previous kit or so, I can show you how to do that also. There is a little trick to making sure that those work out well. So now that that's in there, like, I'm just going to make sure, and you really want to press. Like, that's the key to having a good bomb is good compression. You really want to compact this in here. So, sorry guys, I'm trying to do this left-handed. And I'm not left-handed, so yeah, there you go. So I've really just kind of pressed that one in there. You want to leave it overnight for a minimum of 24 hours. And what's going to happen is those are going to get nice and hard. And then when you're done, you're just going to pop them out, peel off this paper, and then your bomb is ready to go. So that's it. That's how you make bath bombs. Let me get out my other molds and I'll show you my tips and tricks for those. If you have these little bath bomb molds that you maybe have from another kit, you can, of course, mold these with these bombs here. So, but the trick is not to compact it with your hand, as a lot of people tend to do. I used to do that also, and then I learned this little trick here. You want to overload the molds so that you've got a heaping mound on both halves, and then you're going to take these and smash them together. And you're really going to press these two together. And I always give it a little spin here. Now, you're going to want to take your spoon, and you can hear how it's hollow there, and then you want to flip it and do the same thing. And that's going to loosen that bomb from within the mold there. That way it makes unmolding it quite a bit easier, and then very gently, okay? If you've got little ones, this is going to be tricky. But the older kids should be able to get this. So you can see here, and I usually just try to smooth out the sides. Now, these are very delicate to begin with. They will fall apart on you. So usually what I do is I have a prepared pan off to the side here, and I just very gently set them on paper towel. Now again, you can toss that bad boy into your bathtub and enjoy your homemade bath bombs. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me on Facebook or Instagram. You can also email me at info@essentiallyaqua.com.